Oh, hey, didn't see you there. I was just checking on my Star Wars The High Republic pre-orders, and they're still not coming out till January 5th. So I thought instead I would record a full collection book video. And I know there are a lot of people on YouTube who want to talk books, but I want to talk books because the books I want to read haven't shown up yet, and it's just a cool excuse to talk about books. So, books are cool, and reading is fundamental, and more people should do it. Or just listen to all these books on Audible.com. Except none of these books, some of these books aren't available on Audible.com, but whatever. Ugh. So the first book I got here is kind of an odd one. Kick the Football, Charlie Brown. Um, this is a kid's book. Why do I have this? I'm a Peanuts fan. I like the Peanuts. This is actually written by Charles Schulz. I was in a Kohl's to get like some shirts. I got some cool Star Wars shirts. And if you don't know, like Kohl's, they sell like plushies in front of their store, and they usually have like kids' books. And these are about $5. They're very reasonably priced, but the whole point of doing this is that they donate them to a charity. So anyways, they had ones left over because they put in new ones every single month. They had a bunch of peanut stuff left over. So they marked them down, and this was 35 cents, this book. And I was like, for 35 cents, I gotta get it. And so I was like, yeah. I mean, because if it had been like $5, no, I don't need it. But, the 35 cents, yeah. Now, this is a book that actually just recently came out. This is the not novelization, wrong word, illustrated edition of War of the Worlds, the classic H.G. Wells novel. And I'm just going to show you a little bit in here. Some of the art that's in here. But basically, it's like, here's the text, here's the images, and they illustrate it. It actually is really good, and I highly recommend reading it this way. If you're not a person who likes very long books, and you're kind of like, I don't know if I want to read World of Worlds, this is the best way to read it. And if you like comics, reading it this way probably will definitely help you get into it. It's a classic novel. You need to get the criterion of the original movie. Tom Cruise, did a version of it. I like that version too. So, War of the Worlds is cool. I'm a fan. Ugh. Oh, we got a magazine collection here. So this is Mad Presents Special Collector's Edition Spy vs. Spy. Just a collection of Spy vs. Spy stuff. We got The Complete Guide to The Office, 15 years later. This is a Hollywood Story magazine. All these magazines are actually either I found them at a yard sale, or I was given them by a friend who did not want them. Another Hollywood Hollywood Legends, not Spotlight. Inside the Story of Mickey Mouse, and celebrating 80 years of Fantasia and Disneyland and all that. So that's pretty cool. I had these organized in a specific way. Now I'm lost track. Sean Connery, of course, he just recently passed away, so this is a Life magazine all about him. Life magazine talking about MASH, which is, I love that show. So, Queen, Life magazine. And I also have the variant Freddy cover. So I have both versions, which that's pretty dope. Eddie Van Halen. Who's this published by? I don't know. But it's Eddie Van Halen. Of course, he just recently passed away. Rest in peace, man. You're up there running with the devil now. John Lennon, a tribute to a classic rock icon. If you don't know, John Lennon was shot and murdered about 40 years ago. Now he's about 80 years old. So that's celebrating his death. 40 years later, and what his contributes to the music industry forever. Lucy, from I Love Lucy, classic TV icon, great show. The Essential Guide to Wonder Woman. This was supposed to, be out there for the new movie that finally came out on HBO Max, but came out a lot later than expected. The Complete Guide to Star Wars. Of course, I had to have that. Star Wars, my jam, if you don't know. Another John Lennon 80th anniversary book, or magazine talking about his birthday. If you don't know, John Lennon is my favorite Beatle. I'm not saying he's the best. He's just my favorite. 45 years of Saturday Night Live, and this is a People magazine. People magazine, the story of the Beatles. A Rolling Stone, talking about the death of Eddie Van Halen. And we got a Rolling Stone magazine talking about Neil Young and his 75th birthday. And finally, another Life magazine about Jaws' 45th anniversary, which, Jaws is a fantastic movie. I own all the sequels, and I enjoyed those. The first movie is obviously the best, but, sequels are guilty pleasures. So we're just going to keep pulling them out as we go. This is 80 years of Action Comics of Superman, celebrating Superman's 80th birthday, which was a few years ago. I need to get the one they did for Batman, but that one's pretty cool. I think that one's Detective Comics. This one's Action Comics. Gravity Falls Journal 3. Now, this is not the special edition. That was very limited in number. I don't have that one. I would kill to have it if someone was not at the price that it's selling for on eBay, because, dear gosh. Clone Wars, Stories of Light and Dark. I don't have a ton of Star Wars books, but I do have some, so you'll see that in this video. Alright. In a minute, I'm probably going to have to put some of these magazines and other... Here, let me just put all this stuff we took out back and just... I finish talking without my vinyl falling over anymore. Okay. Okay. Man, I didn't realize how heavy these magazines are. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to put it back and keep my... Keep my shelf in balance. Alright. Alright. So you finished talking. Batman Under the Red Hood. Now this is the version that comes with the Batman Under the Red Hood Blu-ray of the animated film. These are actually, I read the comic before watching the movie. They're on par with each other. Like, they're both flat out great, and you should read them. This is my favorite Batman story ever written. It's probably my favorite. It is my favorite comic ever written, so. Not saying it's the best, but, my favorite. I feel like I have to say that because some people are like, no, they wanted to fight with me, but it's like, I didn't say it was the best. I just said it was my favorite. So. William Gibson's Alien 3. If you don't know, there was a lot of screwed up production with Alien 3, and this is a novelized version telling what happened and went on behind the scenes. This doesn't tell what went on behind the scenes, but basically it puts the original script and writes it into a comic, and you can also get an audio book written about it. And then we have Batman Ninja Turtles. This is volume 1. I need to get volume 2. And there's a bunch of other volumes out there, so I'm kind of actually been slacking on getting those, sadly. Because I actually like the story. I think the animated film is a lot better, because it just captures the tone of the Turtles and Batman. The story just feels like it's more of a Batman story, with not really any elements of the Turtles. Alright. comics. We have these are I got really cheap at a comic book, DC Outsiders comics. I don't know anything about them. I read them. I got them really. I haven't read them. I got them really cheap. And same thing with this Marvel one. I think it's just number one of several different comic book stories because you got like Captain America in here. There's some Spider-Man. Just looks like a bunch of number ones of different stories collected. Excuse me, in this comic. Got that really cheap. Ninja Turtles and Ghostbusters. And Watchmen. Watchmen is great. You should all read it. And yeah. You already know Watchmen's great though, so I don't need to say that. The Muppets, The Four Seasons. This is a comic that I got at my comic book shop. Again, these are like $2 a piece. So I haven't read any of these. I like the Muppets a lot. I'm a huge fan. So some comics I got for free comic book day, Star Wars, you know. Some ones I got at a Comic-Con for a couple bucks, Superman, because it's Superman. More free comics. Darth Maul, more free comics. 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 And then these were Dollar Tree pickups. Little comics. And then Over the Garden Wall. By the way, I should probably sell this, honestly. Because I've only read it once, and this is worth like a boatload of money because it's out of print. And it's very good. So, I don't know. I'm debating on keeping it because I do like the series and the comic, but it's just, it kind of would be worth more to sell it, honestly. I don't know. And I bought that at a, like when it was still in print. I had no idea it would get so expensive. So, Billy Joel, I bought this for $3 on clearance at Barnes & Noble, and this is a biographic, it's, you know what I mean. It's about his life, but it's not written by Billy Joel, so I'm wondering if this is unlicensed. Stephen King, If It Bleeds, and that's why I haven't read this one yet, actually. Stephen King's great, so Me, Elton John. See, this one's written by Elton John, about Elton John, and fascinating stuff in here. Really gives you an interesting picture of Elton. I've actually read it about 4 or 5 times, so that's how fascinating I find it, at least. Black Spear. This is a Galaxy's Edge book that you were only going to be able to buy at the park until they started putting some of that stuff in Target stores, which I find interesting. So that's how I got some other cool stuff. Thrawn, this is the first book of the new trilogy of Thrawn books. Next one comes out in April. Definitely going to pre-order that. We got Thrawn, and then this is the first book of the original trilogy. I need to get the sequels. And we have Dune. This is Frank Herbert's Dune, classic novel. Just beautiful collector's edition. I don't recommend this if you've never read Dune because this is more of like a collector's piece. So than an actual like, hey, I'm planning to read this. And also, be careful about touching it. Gets lots of fingerprints on it very easily. Stephen King's It. Alright, so we're going to go over to my second shelf of books, which I moved them over here because I just feel like these smaller books, those are larger books and stuff like that. These are my smaller ones, and I think they just look nicer. Adventure Time Encyclopedia, Gravity Falls Lost Legends. I'm surprised how much these feel like exactly like part of the show, and they feel like exact episodes of the show. It's kind of crazy, and I wish they would do more, but they haven't done more since, I believe, 2017. And that's kind of like, I don't think they're doing more. Stranger Things Zombie Boys. This is about $8 comic. It's pretty meh. I don't recommend reading it. Peanuts. The Gang's All Here. This is a collection of comics. It's actually got a cool flip note thing about it. Like, there's Snoopy there, and you can just go... Here, let me see if I can capture it very well in comic. But basically, yeah, you see like the football moving and things like that. I don't know if you saw that very well, but yeah, it's there. This is Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back from a certain point of view. I haven't read this yet. Stephen King, The Body. Great story. Hocus Pocus, the sequel book. I haven't read it. Planning to next October. The odd ones out, books 1 and 2. These were really cheap on sale, so I was like, okay, best from Mark Twain. Sorry, they're just really dusty. It kind of makes me sick touching those a little bit. I got them because Mark Twain books, if you don't know, they kind of contain some not nice words, and some people might find it offensive, apparently. So they're trying to take them out of print, and I got those at a yard sale for like $2, and I was like, okay, look, I gotta have this. I reviewed this book on my main channel, Welcome to Smellville, Garbage Pail Kids. Second one comes out in May. I'm gonna pre-order that. The Metaphysics of Star Trek, because that's the thing. William Shatner autobiography. You know, it's William Shatner. So, my childhood copy of Charlotte's Web. I would probably keep this forever. It's still signed by a kid I knew back in 2012. So, I am 17, so I must have been 12. Is that right? No, that's not right. How old would I have been? That's a good question. I would have been 9 years old. That's how long ago this was. I used to love Charlotte's Web. I own the movie. I don't even like the movie. It's not even good, but like such a childhood movie that sometimes I just want to throw it on and be like, childhood. I used to see that movie. Some theaters they used to show. Some theaters they show like dollar movies during the summer, like dollar kids movies. Every summer I saw Charlotte's Web at least once in that theater. And I haven't seen the animated Hanna-Barbera one that they did, but that live action one. I saw that one so many times. I swear that's like the most viewed movie probably from my childhood, and we never owned it. It's just like every time I saw it, it was in a theater. So strange, but. The Good Neighbor, A Life and Work of Fred Rogers. Love Mr. Rogers. Rest in peace, man. You touched a million hearts, man. Sonic the Hedgehog, Donut Lord comic that came with the Blu-ray, and then City of Beast. Jaws, Without a Sleep. The Tale of Bill Murray. This was $5, and I was like, oh, it's Bill Murray. I'm going to read it. And it was okay. The stories in it weren't interesting enough to be really put into book form at all. Pet Sematary. One of the scariest books ever written. I didn't finish it till this year. It took me years. The Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. John Green's a great author, and his movie adaptations are terrible. Like Paper Towns, Fault in Our Stars, terrible. Looking for Alaska. I know people like those movies. It's not that they're not accurate to the book. That's what bothers me. I don't really care about that. I care that they're just kind of boring and blandly directed for such unique written stories. They're not presented in a unique, interesting way, and they're just not good for that reason. So, Fault in Our Stars. So, Code of Honor, Jack Ryan, because it's Jack Ryan. I need more Jack Ryan books. I feel like I said Jack Ryan way too many times. So, Jurassic Park. And we got some little mini Archie Jumbo comics, because it's Archie. So cool. And H.P. Lovecraft box set. There are the books if you want to read them. And pause and read them. But yeah, this was something I really wanted for my birthday, and my dad got me this. It was about $40, but H.P. Lovecraft, love his books. So I had to have this set. See if I can. There we go. But yeah. So that's all my books. I'm a big book collector and comic collector, so just wanted to do a video showing off some of my books, because I don't get to talk about books that much, because frankly it just doesn't get a lot of views, but sometimes I just want to talk about them, so here we are.